Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome each and every one of you, regardless of whether you're a veteran, you're attending the foundation series, or you're brand new to the business and you're brand new to Team Syzygy. In fact, if you are, let me give you a extra special welcome. It's great to have you, and it's great to have all of you on the foundation series. Before I start, just a couple things. I just want to thank Ryan again, Ryan Fernandez, Diamond from the Philippines, my tech expert, waving to everybody. He's going to be in charge of all of the technical areas tonight. So if Ryan needs to unmute and let me know that somebody has a critical question or there's a problem in the sound or the visual part, Ryan will let me know. Otherwise, we will just launch on. I am recording the session tonight, so I will be sending this out actually to the entire Team Syzygy around the world tomorrow. But here we are, session one. It's great, like I said, to have you on it. If you're new to the foundation series, let me just give you a quick overview of what this four-part series is really all about. Tonight is like every program, whether that's run by the Amway Corporation or by Network 21 or by Team Syzygy, each and everything that all parts of our business, as we know as the Amway business, the whole point is always your personal success. And the reason for that is not only because we care about your success, because the plan is brilliant in that the only way anyone can succeed is by first, and I say first, helping someone else to succeed. So whether that's Amway Corporation, whether that's Network 21, whether that's the team and your line of sponsorship, everyone is committed to your success. Now, the Foundation Series specifically is designed mostly for brand new people to give them the foundational principles and tools that they need to be able to succeed in their business. Now, in most things, and in fact, I think the perception of most people, even people that have attended multiple foundation series, is that really what they need to develop is to develop skills. And they picture that the people that succeed in the Amway business are those people that have unique or special or developed skills, whether that's skills in leadership, people skills, prospecting, being able to do a brilliant presentation and showing the plan, following up, all of those fundamental things that you would assume are necessary for success in the business. Now, it's not that those things are not important. Of course, they are an important thing that can and will contribute to your success. However, that's not the thing, that's not the most important thing for you to be able to succeed in the business. The Foundation Series has really been developed on being able to help you think. All success, the foundation of all success in life, I don't care if it's the Amway business, I don't care if it's your traditional or your normal career or business or your relationships or your health or any area of life, the number one determining factor to success is how you think, not skill. Now, that has not only been my personal experience, I have committed myself almost all my life to success of what makes the difference. Why do people succeed? How can I succeed? And I did that with no idea that I would ever be in the Amway business. I did that because I always wanted to be successful in life. And I was always driven and had goals and was fascinated with what were the differences of people that succeeded. So I've read a lot of material besides my personal experience. And I read a book once that had one of the most powerful examples of what I'm talking about, of how you think and your perception is so critical to success. And basically, the author used an art class, and the art class, this specific art class, this specific art school, starts by having students, art students, draw a self-portrait. Now, these students have no background in art whatsoever, as you can tell. I don't know how well you would do. I'm sure I wouldn't fare much better if I was asked to do a self-portrait of myself, how that would actually come out. And so some of the self-portraits, and there are hundreds and hundreds, I'm just using a few of the examples that were given in the book that showed all of these students self-portrait. And some did a little bit better than others. I guess you could say they came into the class with more talent than the other ones. But then after about a week of instruction, the teacher had the students draw a second self-portrait. Now, during that week, the only focus of the art class was not in skill in any type of skill in art. The whole focus was teaching the art students to see themselves different. In other words, the whole first week was on developing perception. And at the end of the week, the teacher had each of the students redraw their self-portrait. Now, I think we would all admit that is an incredible, striking improvement between the first self-portrait and the second self-portrait. And what was the difference? Was the difference skill? No, the difference was only in teaching them perception, how they thought, how they saw themselves, how they saw what to really help them see what they were seeing. And so again, that's the point of the foundation series, is to impact how you think. Now, many of you have been part of the foundation series before, and many of you that are on the webinar tonight, I know personally, I've worked with some of you for many years. And if I were to give you a written test on all the material in the foundation series, you would answer intellectually right, as if the thinking, your thinking, would be intellectually correct. The problem is you don't really own the information. If you're a veteran or if you're new, I really encourage you over this 4 weeks to really examine and really to think through what it is that your truest beliefs are regarding the Amway business and all of the subjects we're going to talk about. There is nothing that is off bounds, out of bounds. I would really encourage you, whether you're comfortable asking questions and addressing each and every one of these principles that we talk about in each section with me personally or through chatting or however that you might want to communicate through the series. But even if you're not comfortable, I can't encourage you enough to sit down with your upline that you work with, your upline mentor, with questions and any of the issues that we're going to talk about through this series. Because again, whether somebody believes it or not, what I'm talking about, their actions and their questions with the people that I work with in the counseling side always go back to skill versus thinking, that they're almost never questioning how they see the business, how they see the system, how they see the principles of success, and how that is applicable to them and their business and the Network 21 system. So I encourage you so much, like I read this quote about 2 months ago and was very profound through my experience in life. which is Sir Francis Bacon said, if we begin with certainties, we shall end in doubts. But if we begin with doubts and are patient in them, we shall end in certainties. So I encourage you to take a blank page, if you will, to kind of clear off what you might think that you know about the business as we go through the series. Now, it's understandable that most people don't succeed in the Amway business. In fact, that's why I would encourage you to really examine the doubts or the questions that you have, because the more you examine them, those doubts that lead, for example, for me, a certainty. This is what I am absolutely certain about tonight. And that is that you can do this. You can succeed at this. And I don't even know you, that each and every person can succeed and that it's worth doing. Now, that is not an ignorant belief on my part. Over the last 40 years, I have questioned every aspect of the Amway business. I remember questioning the first thing that I questioned was actually during the plan. I remember the first time that I actually saw the plan. And as I was listening and watching the person do the plan, like we do so many times, we act like we're listening, but something will send us thinking on a tangent. And although I was staring at him and I was staring at the paper that he was drawing out the Amway plan on, really what I began to think was, how can I not have heard of this? In my whole life, I had never heard of Amway. I was watching him do the plan. And as I watched him do the plan, I thought, this is incredible. This is a brilliant, brilliant concept for business. And I had no doubt that that it was true and that it was brilliant. And that was way before I did the due diligence of like today, which anyone who actually does any due diligence with any aspect of an open mind could not deny that the Amway business works and that it is a phenomenal business model. After 61 years in business and doing over $8 billion in turnover, succeeding in over 100 different markets with different cultures and different political systems and different economic systems, all of the negative that have gone on about the Amway business for over 60 years, that a business can come through that doing that kind of business, and particularly if you understand the plan, that the business has to be built from the bottom up, not from the top down. The perception that people have is that the rich get richer in Amway, have no concept of the plan. The plan doesn't work like that. The only way someone in the upline can make money is to produce success at the bottom of the business, that it is a bottom up business. It's not a top down. This is not like Ronald Reagan trickle down economics, even though I'm a Ronald Reagan fan. But with all of that in my mind, I was thinking, wow, if this is as good as it looks, if it was as good as it sounds, if what this person is telling me is true, why aren't more people successful? Because even in that simple plan, the very first one that I saw, not only was it obvious that the Amway Corporation was a successful business model, but the simplicity that was involved in the business, the simple aspects of what it would take to build an Amway business were so simple that even in the first plan, I realized that if I was really willing to commit to the business, that I could succeed at the business. Now, I wasn't willing to commit to it. Don't get me wrong. I didn't commit for over a year and a half, but I didn't realize that. So I had doubts in the plan, which was really created curiosity. And it didn't take long before the plan was over, because of my experience in life before. I knew why more people didn't succeed in the Amway business, because I knew that most people were like me and wouldn't commit to the business. Now, most people, we never commit to what we don't believe, and we don't believe what we don't understand. And my misunderstanding was what kind of person would succeed in the Amway business. And I wasn't that person. And because I didn't believe I was that person, I was unwilling to commit. It was only through my experience and as I began to understand really what the business took and what kind of people actually really succeed in the business that changed. My understanding changed. So my belief changed that I could do it. So my commitment changed. And that's normal because, like Nancy Dornan so infamously said one time, the business is simple, but not obvious. Now, most people credit that quote to Jim Dornan. Jim Dornan wrote a book on that with that quote. So most people think Jim's who was the founder of that quote. But no, Nancy Dornan said that many years ago, even before there was Network 21. So the process that each and every person has to go through to succeed is first to understand. Understanding leads to belief, and belief leads to commitment, not only in the Amway business, but in everything that we do. So in this series, what we're going to be attacking is understanding the business model itself, the Amway business model itself, to try to give you as much foundation of what the business model is really about, to really clear up misperceptions on that model so that you can have a understanding and then a higher belief and ultimately commitment to the business and the Network 21 system, how that really works and how that applies to the Amway business model. If you misunderstand the model, you're going to misunderstand the Network 21 system. You're always going to think you understand it, but you really aren't. I think sometimes that's just like in sports. I travel a lot. I travel a lot in India, and in fact, cricket in India is an absolute religion, I think, and it is very similar to baseball. There's batters and there's pitchers and there's things like that. But if you're thinking American baseball, talking to someone who's talking about cricket, it'll sound the same, but it is total two different games. So you're going to play the wrong game. In the same way with the principles of success, how all of these things work and how each and every one of these things work together to create literally a professional, duplicatable, and predictable path to your success in your business. Now, tonight, we're going to start with Amway. We're going to start with the Amway business model. That's actually going to take tonight and next week because that is the area that is most misunderstood. So tonight, we want to talk about the Amway business model. Number one, that the Amway business model is a business. Most people do not see it as a business because of the traditional trappings of a normal business. A normal business, well, if you've ever owned a traditional business, then you know what I'm talking about. You cannot mistake a traditional business that you're in business for yourself because of the incredible amount of investment and risk, whether that's financially or education and expertise and experience, licensing, all of the things, overhead, all of those things that go with a traditional business. You know you're in business for yourself. But ours is a little bit more difficult to understand that. But the reality is it's a business. The second is it's a unique business. Now, we're going to talk about that tonight, but that's why it's hard for people to really realize that it's a real business. And more complicated than that, it's harder for them to get their arms around that it's not only a business, it's not only a unique business, but it's your business. You own it. You may not feel like you own it, but you own a business. And it's big, big business. This part is critical for you to take the business serious, to make a professional commitment. You have to understand how big and how powerful it is. But we want to start with, first of all, it is a business. Like I said, even though it doesn't have the trappings of a normal, traditional business, it truly is a business. Now, one of the reasons why I say that, it was the whole point of the creation of what we know as the Amway business today. When the Amway business started, there was no Amway Corporation. There was just a group of people, about 16 of them, 16 different people, couples, that actually believed what the founders, the original founders of Amway Corporation believed, which was that to control your life, you had to be in business for yourself. You had to own it. Now, these two friends, Rich DeVos and Jay Van Andel, had a lot of businesses prior to the Amway business. So with their belief that to control your life, you needed to own your own business, that was actually developed in them by their parents, because they were first generation. Their parents were first generation Dutch immigrants who didn't own their own business, by the way, but kept teaching their sons that they needed to be in business for themselves. And Rich DeVos and Jay Van Andel's experience in multiple different business ventures gave them the inspiration and to design a business that anybody could be in business for themselves. They knew the normal challenges of being in business, the money, the expertise, the risk, all of those things that go along with business ownership. So they started, not the Amway Corporation, they started an association called the American Way Association. Today, we know it as the Independent Business Owners Association International. And that association with 16 people started with no product. Now, I have to tell you, my financial background in finance, particularly in venture capital and investment banking, I was used to dealing with business plans and studying businesses. And I know of no other business that was started with no product. The Amway business concept existed with no product. Normally, somebody has a product or a service that they want to bring to the marketplace, and they design a business plan to bring that product or service to market. When the Amway business started, they had no product. They had the concept of business ownership. Again, everything started with it being a business. And one of the 16 people, actually it was two of them, found a product that they brought to Rich DeVos and Jay Van Andel that was taken as the first product. And it was a liquid organic cleaner, originally called Frisk, that they renamed LOC, which we have today still in almost every market, that basic very first product. Now, the only reason there was ever an Amway Corporation created is because when the association bought the distribution rights of that first product from the inventors, unfortunately, or fortunately, maybe for all of us today, they were horrible manufacturers and the product was totally inconsistent. And so Rich DeVos and Jay Van Andel went back to the inventors and bought the right of manufacturing. So they not only had the right to manufacture it, but had the sole right to be able to manufacture the product. Now then, as we know, the Amway Corporation is a huge success story and became big, big business. And such big business that the Network 21 system was developed by because of the incredible power of the opportunity and for the desire to be able to make the business more accessible, success in the business more accessible to people around the world. The Network 21 system was created. not by Jim and Nancy. They did not create the Network 21 system. All the leadership of Network 21 around the world are what contributed to the Network 21 system. Because basically the system was not a theory, excuse me. The system was created by observing thousands and thousands and thousands of successful people all over the world and crystallizing down to what were the common denominators of all the successful people. Not everything that those people did, but what were the common denominators? So the whole history of the business started with being a business, not a job, not anything else, but a business. Now, it is an incredible, unique business. If you take the time to study it, you'll understand how unique the Amway business really is. Now, I fashion it like, though, the parable of the blind men and the elephant. I think you all know the story where there were blind men, and each one of the blind men, 6 blind men, have contact with a part of an elephant, and based on the part that they are have contact with, they define what the elephant is. And each one of them has a different perspective on the elephant because they can only see one part of it. And that's similar to the Amway business, because one of the unique things about Amway is you can't see an Amway business. Now, traditional business, you can show people the business. If you own a McDonald's or a retail store or a manufacturer, or you're a CPA or an attorney or a physician, you can tour people on your business and they can get an idea of what the business is. But in the Amway business, it is 100% conceptual business. That's why it's so difficult when you show the plan, because it's so unique, the person can't see it. And the challenge is, as human beings, we think in pictures. That's how language was originally formed, was pictures and drawing of pictures that turned into some type of symbol that created language. But our minds, we think in pictures. When I say something to you, it brings a picture to your mind. So when we're showing the plan, whenever we can't picture something, when something's unique and we don't have a clear picture of it, we try to relate it to something we are familiar with. So usually, I don't know if you've had the experience showing the plan, when the person says, oh, okay, it's like, I can't tell you how many times I've shown the plan and the person has actually said something similar to that. Oh, this is like, and they usually will have a misperception and put our opportunity in one of 2 major boxes. The first one is direct sales, like Avon or Mary Kay or some of the successful direct sales companies around the world, depending on what market somebody's in, but they'll name a direct sales company. Now, there's nothing wrong with the direct sales. Direct sales is a brilliant business model. Up until network marketing, it was an incredible successful business model, and very, we're part of the direct sales industry. We're part of the Direct Sales Association. I mean, Amway Corporation is. So there's nothing wrong with direct sales. It's just that when people put our business in the direct sales box, it creates a feeling of being unworthy of a professional commitment. Nobody goes to university with a degree in wanting a degree to start an Avon business or a Mary Kay business or another business in the direct sales industry. Maybe they should, but they don't. And the second box that they put it in is in the network marketing box. Now, the network marketing box is really misunderstood, and it's mostly misunderstood because of the misuses of so many people trying to cut corners and create something for nothing. And all of the challenges that have come from the network marketing industry, that when I should just do a webinar on what the network marketing business model really is and why it's so brilliant. Time we don't have for it tonight, but it's unbelievable, brilliant business model. But the point is, when we're put in that box, that misperception in the network marketing box, it's not legitimate. It's the feeling that it is not a legitimate opportunity. And particularly when you're talking about developing an asset and passive income, if something is considered shaky, then it loses its value in that area. So are we a network marketing company? Of course, we're paid in a network marketing format. But other than that, we are nowhere near like any other network marketing company. Because just because you're like something doesn't make it you. You and I, we are very much like a monkey. But just because you're like a monkey doesn't make you a monkey. So we're not ashamed of those industries. It's not that we're not direct sales or network marketing. We're not less than that. We are more than that. Just like a human being is more than a monkey. We're similar in some areas, but we're different. It's also misunderstood, and the uniqueness of the business is not understood because there are so many different opportunities because you own your own business. That's one of the unique things about Amway. Amway was created by the association. Amway didn't create us, we created the association. So from the very beginning, Amway Corporation's role was to handle the product side, to handle the inventory and the manufacturing and the guarantee and the accounting and the bonuses and all of those things. Their role was never to develop the business because they weren't the owner of your business. You're the owner of your business. So because you truly own it, you can make a business of whatever your perception is, whether it's like a Costco-like business. Sometimes when I explain the business, somebody will say, oh, this is kind of like Costco online. Is it? Of course. Can they join the business just to take advantage of the product in the same way of getting a Costco membership? Of course. Or if they see it as an Avon-ish direct sales business, can they create their own business like that in the similar business model? Of course. And so when people see the plan, they see a different plan presented by the number of different people's perception of the Amway business. Let me say that again. The perception the world has about the Amway business primarily comes from the perception of the business that the person showed them feels that they own. And that's their freedom to do that. That when you're free to do that, I'm free to do that. That doesn't mean it is the same business model that Jim and Nancy Dornan and the leadership of Network 21 believe the Amway business is. When we show the business, we have a different belief system, a different perception of what it is, and that is that it is an asset. So everything that we do in the Network 21 system is to deliver freedom, to be able to create passive income so that someday that you cannot do it if you choose, that you can be financially free. So it's not just a unique business, it's your business. Now, this is critical. Most people never really get this from their head to their heart. This business you own. The moment you registered as an ABO or an IBO, depending on the market, you own it. Now, you may not believe or understand what you own, but what you own as a business owner in Amway is so powerful, I don't even really know how to really do this justice. If you can imagine, well, I'll give you an example. When Michael Jackson died, he died almost bankrupt. Now, I know that's hard to believe with all the money that he made. He almost was bankrupt. And today, his estate is worth billions and billions of dollars. In fact, are worth more today than any time that Michael Jackson was alive. Now, you might think, well, of course, it's kind of like Elvis Presley. Michael Jackson's music, all of that has created huge wealth. No, that's not the bulk of the wealth of the Jackson estate. The Jackson attorneys at one point had the wisdom and they bought the right to the Beatles' music. So Michael Jackson's estate owns the Beatles' music. And that right, that copyright has made the Jacksons billions of dollars. Just like Elvis Presley infamously makes more money today for his heirs from his music and the copyrights and all of the things that go from Elvis Presley, who died so many years ago, because they own the copyright. Well, what you own when you start your Amway business is you own the right of distribution forever. In other words, the moment you refer somebody who joins this business, you have the PV and BV from any purchase for their use or marketing the product, or when they sponsor somebody else who sponsors somebody else, no matter where it goes in the world, you own the distribution rights to that referral forever. Now, even if you don't qualify for a bonus in that market or through the PV and BV that is generated today, you may not earn it today, but you never lose the right. The Emerald bonus and the Diamond bonus is based on your worldwide volume. So you may not be an Emerald or a Diamond for the next 5 or 10 years, but the moment you qualify, you own the distribution rights and you begin to earn that money. And like I said, it's better than a copyright or a patent because you never lose it. There is no end to it. That is called the right of survivorship. It's unique to our business. Nobody else has that. Nobody else has that, which allows you to leave a legacy to your children's children's children because of the right of distribution forever. And when you combine those two things, you combine the ownership aspect and the right of survivorship, that is what develops the potential for an asset. So you own it. It is very powerful. And our business contains, and this is the challenge, this is the benefit and the challenge, has all 4 aspects of Kiyosaki's quadrant. You can join the business, you can market product, nothing wrong with that, everything right for that, but you're trading time for money. You can sponsor other people that do that, and exactly the same. It's a left side business, you're just self-employed. But we have, with the right, the distribution rights and the right of survivorship, to be able to create an asset for financial independence. And finally, it's a big business. It's not just a business. It's not just a unique business. It's not just your business. This opportunity is big, big, big business. Now, I don't mean big, big business for Amway Corporation or for the Dornans or the Wilsons or anyone like that. The potential for it to be big business is for each and every person who registers in the business because of the concept itself. I think we would all agree that McDonald's is big business, and McDonald's Corporation is in the franchise business, and they're in the duplication business just like us. And they duplicate as a franchisor, franchisee. That's how the McDonald's Corporation has become a multi-billion-dollar business by creating or duplicating, I should say, a system for business ownership, just like we do. We have a system and we duplicate business ownership. However, McDonald's, the franchisees, they have a different duplication. They don't duplicate franchisees. Sorry, let me go back there. They duplicate customers. They're in the customer business. That's how they develop customers for Big Macs And all of the products and services that McDonald's represents, that's what the franchisee does. Now, few of them, not many, get to be able to buy a second or a third franchise. Most of the franchisees only own one. Our business model is way more potential than any of those business models because we are like the franchisee, we can create clients for our business. We also, though, can duplicate by creating other franchisees, other business owners, if you will, who then create customers themselves. All of that, we have the distribution rights, goes back. But unlike McDonald's, we can also duplicate other people to be franchisors who duplicate franchises themselves that create all of the above. And it is never ending. And that in itself allows you to be able to create a multi-million or billion-dollar business. Like the Dornans, I don't know if you realize they own a business that does in excess of $1 billion a year. That's big business, to where the potential, the earning right is unbelievable. It's unlimited. It's unlimited in the income you can build, and it is unlimited in where you can do business. The COVID experience has really shown everyone around the world in Team Syzygy that this business model can be brought and support anyone in any market, any place in the world. Even if the Network 21 system doesn't exist there, we can create the Network 21 system through technology any place in the world. So the business model itself has no limit in where you can do it, and no limit in how big you can build it, and no limit in the income that you can create, and ultimate financial freedom. So what's the point tonight? Let me just sum it up by saying it is a business. The product from the very beginning was opportunity. That's our really product. We are in the opportunity business. We have incredible products, but our main product is opportunity. It's unique. There is no other business like Amway. You really need to own that in your heart. That is the truth. Whenever any new person or a prospect tries to compare our opportunity with someone else's, that there is no comparison, because there is no other business like the Amway business. And it's your business. You truly do own it. And there really is no limit to the business. It is big business. So that's our first session for tonight. I want to end with a couple things, and that is to recommend some additional resources. These are excellent for you to really begin to understand the model itself. And Jim Dornan has actually, there's really two, if you go to the media app, there's really two versions of this. They've shortened it down to a 13-minute version, but you want to listen to the long version by Jim Dornan of See It the Way I Do, Part 1 and Part 2. And I can't recommend highly enough that you get Jim Dornan's book. It's simple, not obvious. Now, if you have the media app, you have the book because you have it in an audio form. Either way, audio or reading it, it's incredible, incredible foundation for what we're talking about tonight. Finally, next week, we'll end this part by talking about Amway Part 2, and that will be next Sunday night at the same time, 9:30 p.m. So it's been great to have you. I'll just wait 1 second. If you have any questions or anything that you might want to have, wait a second. I'll see if I can address anything that you might have. And like I said when I started, if you're a little shy or you think of a question later, don't hesitate to email me or get together with your upline mentor and ask them, because you want to have as much clarity as possible. Okay, well, I don't see any questions coming. And so let me just say it's great to be with you. Let's thank Ryan again, my tech man. I put him to work. I'm a little bit embarrassed to have to use the diamond every time. And by the way, while we're saying it, Ryan had a birthday this week. So we can not only thank Ryan, yeah, sure, but give Ryan a belated happy birthday. He's quarantined. He still has to celebrate his birthday. Uh, at least he has the dogs and his mom and technology. So anyway, it's great to be with you. You guys have a fabulous week, and we'll adjourn next week. Yep. And tomorrow night is the monthly team Syzygy meeting. I've got a lot of exciting news for everybody. So look forward to being with you all tomorrow night too. Good to see everybody. I love the video on, hi Olive. And Olive, I think you got my message about counseling. So, okay, good. All right, you guys, have a great week. Love you all. And we will see you tomorrow night, and we will see you next week. God bless everybody.